If you're ranked gold, then this means that you're at the final rank you have to pass to finally get out of the low ranks and start climbing your way to the high ranks. This means that gold is where you really have to start building those good habits that will go with you all the way to immortal and radiant. You can get out of silver and below by just avoiding the stupid mistakes that most new players make, but to get out of gold, you actually need to start improving. If you want to learn how to easily escape gold, then stick around to the end of this video because I'm going over everything you need to know to rank up to platinum. Ineffective ability usage is one of the most common problems I see in gold. Whether this would be using the abilities too early in the round or simply using them when it isn't necessary, improving your ability usage would make a big difference in how well you do in game. Try to always have a reason for why you're using an ability. Is it to get info, to slow down the enemies, to enter into a site? If you can't find a reason for why using an ability would be beneficial, then reconsider, because chances are you shouldn't use it. At this point, there's tons of guides online for every single agent in game, so you really have no excuse for not learning how to use your agent's abilities properly. Since I mentioned before that you want to be building and sticking to a lot of good habits when you're at and around gold, what better habit is there than aim training? Aim training is something that you've definitely heard about, and that's for good reason. It's the best thing to do if you want to really improve your aim. But you might have the question on how you should go about it, and this depends a lot on how much time you have. If you only have 2 hours to play each day, then I don't recommend you spending half of that time on aim training. But if you have 5 hours to play, then doing at least half an hour to an hour wouldn't be a bad idea. This will also act as your warm-up to make sure that you're both in a focused mental state and that your aim is warmed up. When I'm short on time, my favorite thing to do is to play through a short aim lab playlist, do a deathmatch and jump into the practice range for around 5 minutes, then I'm ready. If I have more time, then I might go through the playlist twice, do 2 or 3 deathmatches and stay a bit longer in the range. No matter how you choose to spend your time, I'd advise you to have a few different ways of training your aim for different purposes. I like using an aim trainer to train different parts of my aim separately. Deathmatch to involve more realistic scenarios and gunfights that happen in game, and also get my crosshair placement going, then use the practice range for operator training. Find what works to you, but remember that it's staying consistent that matters the most. Something I want you to learn in gold is the importance of economy. Many people around the rank of gold and even above have a really bad understanding of the economy. This ranges from not caring about guns, chasing too hard after an enemy who's saving, to just rushing on eco rounds, not trying to play tactically because you don't see the value of taking away a few weapons. Realizing that every single kill and weapon matters to the economy is important. This will give you a better idea of both what the enemies could be doing, but also what your team should be doing. If the enemies got a few kills and a plant on pistol round, then the chances of them forcing are way higher than if they got no kills and no plant. So on the second round, you should buy accordingly. The same thing goes if your team has saved weapons from the second round, and because you know that your buy wouldn't be as strong as the enemies even if you forced up, you instead decide to keep the weapons and go for a bonus round. The examples I gave you are quite game-changing decisions, but even smaller ones like trying to get a few kills on an eco can make a difference, so try to learn more about the economy. When talking about ultimates, we kinda have the opposite problem of what I talked about with regular abilities. People tend to use those too early and too often, but with ults, people just hold on to them far too often. The reality is that the perfect scenario for an ult is very unlikely to happen, and you should in general be looking for some sort of guaranteed value from it. Instead of trying to ult behind the entire enemy team with Omen, you could ult to try to get some info. Instead of trying to get 5 kills in one shot with Raze, you could try to use the ult while in the air from your blast packs trying to get an enter frag. These scenarios might seem like a waste of your ult, since technically it can be used for much more. But if we're realistic, then you're really gonna encounter those scenarios once in a blue moon, so saving your ult for too long is generally not a good idea. My next tip is about learning the role of your agent. This is something that many people struggle with, even in plat and above, but it's crucial if you want to maximize the potential your agent has. An agent like Chamber is more suited for lurking because of his TP that allows him to get back to his team and get away from danger quickly, as well as his powerful weapons which all allow him to one-shot unsuspecting enemies. The opposite is true for Jett. She's the most mobile agent in the game, which allows her to quickly open up bomb sites for her team, creating space, and therefore as a Jett player, you want to be aggressive and the one going first for your team. I can't believe how many people there are in high ranks who still don't understand how their agents is supposed to be played, so make sure that you start learning that early. When you get out of gold, you might need some help reaching diamond. I made another tips and tricks video for people in plat, so check that out on the screen right now. See you there.